Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today is day 2 of my holiday card series and we're going to be making some fun flat shaker cards. So we'll just get right into it. Here's the example that I made first, but obviously we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I had some like snowflake paper from the dollar store that I bought a few years ago as part of a pack, so I used that. I have some iridescent sequins in here, some glitter discs, and some silver foil confetti, as well as some of this iridescent glitter. This is like from Walmart. I think it was like $6 and I bought it like years and years ago. It's really good for like snow globes and shaker cards. And we're going to be using the Simon Says Stamp Snowflake Season set that came out in 2021. I believe it's still available. So I'll link everything down in the description below. But we're also going to be using a die from that same release, I believe. This is also from Simon. I don't know if this one's still available. I love this die, but this die doesn't love me. It took me so long to cut this out. My machine doesn't like to cut it. I've tried my magic mats from scrapbook.com. I've tried adding extra shims. I've tried a bubble wrap hack that I saw the other day. It just doesn't like to work. This area here just doesn't like to cut for me, so this took a while, so I'm only doing the one, which is why this one ended up being a bit different. I wanted to show you guys this example. So we'll be doing it on blue, and we'll be stamping some of these snowflakes in the background to make our own snowflake paper. And then I'm going to show you a trick with this cardstock. So what we'll do is we'll start with our background. And so I'm just going to pull out my laminated sheet. I have just been using a piece of copy paper in the background, but I did laminate a plain sheet of paper like years ago. I think this was a hack from like Jennifer McGuire, just as like a palette. And it actually works great. You can wipe it off and everything when you're done. But we'll just get started. I pulled out some more Lawn Fawn inks. I have Blue Jay Forget Me Not, and I'm going to use Hippo ink that I used in the last video as well. And we're just going to randomly stamp these snowflakes all around. If you want, you could probably do the big one at the top and then kind of like trickle down smaller ones, but I usually like to use the larger ones around the border and then fill in some of the areas of the smaller one. You don't need to fill in the whole paper. You can if you want. That's up to you. But we'll just start off with the darkest shade. And it also doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to be throwing some shaker bits in here. So I'm probably going to stamp one here. Then I'll also do a second generation one up in this corner. You just want to make sure you rotate it. I did this the one time and I just like kind of went from here to here, but then you realize that there's still ink on this bottom portion where you missed it the first time, and then it ends up being like a half and half, which is weird. You could also, if you want to do like second generation stamping, just like stamp it off and then go to your paper and then do it that way, which might be safer. I'll do a few more. Maybe we'll fill up the corners with this one. And then we'll just do a little bit here, and then we'll do second generation down here. And you want to make sure you clean off your stamp in between colors and put it back. Or you could just use the one stamp and just stamp it in different colors. I'm just going to switch to a different snowflake. And then I'll go to the Forget Me Not ink. This ink is probably a similar color to this cardstock, so it'll give it more of a tone on tone look, which the Blue Jay does as well when you do the second generation. And then I'm just going to go over this one. Yeah, this one's a bit closer to the background. Okay. There, I kind of avoided the middle just so it didn't get too busy for the star once it goes on top of the shaker, but again, you can stamp whatever amount you want, however many colors you want. You can heat emboss these, I've done that before. If you want to do some in white ink, you'll have to like let that one dry because pigment ink takes a bit to dry. And I think this one I'm going to do it sentimentless, like I'm not going to put a sentiment on it. I'm just going to let the star shine, and then you can write your sentiment on the inside. Oops. But we are going to make this into a flat shaker, and I've shown this in videos before, but I like to use this, it's like for gift baskets. This is a roll from the dollar store. I just kind of chopped it up into 3 or 4 sections, and then for more manageable rolls, and then I just tape it down and stick it in a mug. I have like three rolls in a mug right now for this. Okay, and then you're gonna make sure you don't have too much overlap. And then for this, we'll just use some double-sided tape. And I'll just start with the bottom. This tool is great, by the way, guys. I got this at Dollar Tree. It's actually meant for weeding when you're doing like heat transfer stuff on your Cricut, but it is great for peeling up tape and stuff. I used to use an X-Acto knife all the time, but this is fantastic. This tool I use all the time. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is put some tape on the sides. I'm gonna make sure it's like the bottom, I make sure is tight, so I just kind of like take it, push it down a bit. You don't want to push it so that it curls, but you just want to push it down so it lays flat. And then we'll just add our tape to the side. Okay, and then if you're like me, and I tend to do these a little too tight sometimes, I made this like 3-layer of just like regular cardstock. This layer is like 65 from Michael's. I think the other 2 are my hammer wheel paper that were just like scraps from something I was working on. So I'm just gonna put that on the inside, just kind of center it, just to give it that little bit of depth you need when you're making these cards. And then I'm gonna peel off my tape and then just kind of like fold it over. Don't pull it so that it's tight or anything, just fold it over nicely, push it in, and then I usually cut the corners and then trim this up a bit. And then we'll do the same on the other side. You don't want to cut too much of the corner off, especially if you're using something more fine like this. If you're just using regular sequins and stuff, it's fine, but and then you're going to take this out and then fill in your bits. So I have these like iridescent, like holographic sequins from Michael's. They're the ones with the holes in the middle. I don't love them on cards. Like I prefer the confetti style without the hole. So I'm just using these up as shaker bits. I was kind of hoping that they would be better, but I really don't like them. Because the melted icicle ones I have from, I think, Studio Katia, they just like, they have a little bit of a yellow tinge on it. I'm noticing a lot of products that I thought were like clear before have a bit of a yellow tinge to them. So I actually am replacing my Paper Roses Clear Gems with Trinity Stamps ones, because they are actually like a white clear instead of a more yellowy tone clear. And again, like I'm trying to find a replacement for my melted icicle ones for my confetti bits. These are very staticky right now. Okay. So I'm gonna add a bit of this. Not too much. You can add however much you want, just like personal preference for filling up the shaker cards. And I'm gonna add, this stuff tends to like just kind of stick around, so just kind of make your background a bit more glittery. And this one I have the silver foil in it, but I think I'm just gonna skip that for this card. I want to keep it pretty like iridescent to go with the snowflake. And then we're just gonna tape down the top portion. Okay, I'm just gonna grab another card base. That's one thing I don't like about double-sided tape. It's like automatic stick. You can add a bit of glue, but I still don't find that it gives you enough playroom. So what I'll do is I'll keep this for scrap paper and stamping on something else later. And I'll just grab another card base, and like the places where it's stuck to the paper, I'll just add glue. I'm gonna stand up and do this. Okay, and I'm just gonna flatten it out a little bit. Sometimes they get stuck in here and they get like layered up, like they'll just pile up. You can very gently just kind of like move them around. This stuff actually doesn't pierce very easily because it is meant for gift baskets, which is good. And then I'm gonna use, I think, some of my Simon micro dot sheets to adhere this so I don't have to use glue. Okay. Maybe I could just do a little winter greeting in the middle. And I'll grab that paper. And I'll just stamp it in the forget-me-not ink, maybe. I don't love that. Oh, that looks better. Okay, let's do that. And then I will pop it up on some double layered cardstock that I have here. So those are our shaker cards for today. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. We have 10 more videos to go after this, so stay tuned. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.